Everyone that's not for a second. Everybody. Okay.
That's a little more.
I'm older, that's all right.
Hi everyone, thank you all for being here. I'm Emily, Ned's daughter, and over the past couple months, if I've learned one thing, it's how extraordinary, what a difference a governor can make. And I am so happy to have the opportunity to work on my dad's campaign. I think he's going to make a huge difference, and I'm really excited for him to be governor. So thank you all for being part of that.
She's modest. I taught her modesty. Hey everybody, first of all I got to say I really like that modest and understated sign I saw as I came in. This is a low-key campaign, and I got to say I see a lot of friends here. I can't call you out by name, but May Flexer was great standing up for us at the convention. Representing, the next generation of leadership and change that you need in Hartford, and I was proud to have you there speaking out. Ed Habricks is just a great friend of mine, our first selectman, Stonington, amazing guy. We just came and visited a couple of small businesses on our way here, and it makes a difference. I appreciate that. My sister Kim, Camille, is like a Stonington resident. Yes. I'll let you know that. Hey, let me just tell you, we had a little debate the other night. I don't know if any of you guys have heard that. We wanted to make a case. We wanted to make a case that, look, these are exceptional times for the state of Connecticut, and it takes a different type of leader. The politicians, we managed our way through on and off over the years, but now is the time for fundamental changes as we do business in Hartford. We've really got to make our state run more efficiently for the taxpayers, and we've got to make sure that we honor, keep faith with the people of this state. You need a Democrat when it comes to governor. When you got a $3.5 billion budget deficit, we got to make sure it's a Democrat that's making those tough calls when it comes to protecting education and the most vulnerable in our society. And that's my pledge to you. And and also say that I tried to make the case the other night that for the first time in decades, it may not be a bad thing to have somebody who understands that jobs is the #1 issue confronting the state of Connecticut. That's why our young people are leaving the state of Connecticut. That's why Main Street, Norwich, has so many boarded ups. We got to bring that back to life. That's why we have $1.5 billion. If we got everybody employed, we have 100,000 small businesses in this state. If I could just give them the incentives to hire 1 or 2 more people, just 1 or 2 more people, that would represent $1.5 billion of new taxpayer dollars. And that's what we got to do. That's how you get this state going again. But I learned one other thing in that debate the other night. I was just telling somebody as we came in that right at the very start of the debate, 3/4 of the TV sets in Connecticut changed the channel from NBC 30 to Jeopardy and anything else they could buy. And, it just reminds you how important you folks are when it comes to getting our message out there. Maybe they said, 1 minute, how do you plan to balance the budget, Mr. Lalonde, is not necessarily the only format to tell your story about how we turn this state around. You can do it on TV, you can do it on radio, 30 seconds if you really want to get into detail, a full minute. Mary Glassman and I, we're going flat out around the state of Connecticut trying to meet everybody we can and tell them how important this election is. Because at the end of the day, people want to know you. They want to know who you are. They want to know what your heart is. They want to know what type of person it is that's going to go up to Hartford and has the independence and the courage to stand up, challenge the old way of doing things, and get this state moving again. And Mary and I can't get everywhere. And that's why folks like you, folks that have known us for an awful long time, your recommendation is so important. When you get out there, you're meeting people on the street, you're going on the phone, you're doing GOTV, you're knocking on doors. They say, have you met Lamont? Have you met Glassman? What are they like? Are they folks like us? Are they folks that are going to fight for us? Are they going to fight for our jobs? Are they going to fight and make sure that Connecticut's a state where each and every one of our kids can call home and maybe start a family, start a career, start a business? And your recommendation is just so important, that validation. And that's why we set up offices in Norwich. That's why we set up offices around the state. And that's why you have a great group of folks, starting right here, starting with Becca, starting with Greta, starting with Terry. These are our folks that are going to be on the ground as you get out there and introduce us and remind people we have a primary on a hot day in August. And I know something about primaries and hot days in August. And I'll just tell you, if the primary 4 years ago when I took on Joe Lieberman, if it was a small primary and not a big turnout, and just the old insiders went out and voted, we wouldn't have won. And we wouldn't have made that statement loud and clear that it's time for us to change. But we had the largest turnout in the history of Democratic primaries. We energized a lot of people, a lot of folks who hadn't voted before, a lot of folks who registered. We registered tens of thousands of new Democrats. You registered yet? Well, here's your chance. And that's how we win, and that's why we need you folks here, to make sure everybody knows on August 10th how important this primary is, and more importantly, get engaged, practice up, because this is how we're going to beat the Republicans in November and get the first Democrat elected in 25 years. Mom hiding back there somewhere?
She's not, unfortunately. I wish she were.
Then let me just say something about the most extraordinary running mate. I'm so proud to be running with Mary Glassman.
Yeah.
Mary is, I think a lot of you know Mary. Mary was Dan Malloy's first choice for Lieutenant Governor 4 years ago. Then she ran with John DeStefano, did an extraordinary job. You know, elected 6 times in her hometown, Simsbury, a pretty Republican town. Former Chief of Staff to Lieutenant Governor. Let's face it, I'm the outsider. I'm going to go into Hartford. I'm going to shake things up, change the way we do business. Mary's going to keep an eye on me. She knows how to work with the legislature. She knows Hartford. Together, we're going to make an extraordinary difference. I want you all to remember Mary Glassman on August 10th as well. Look, with that, I just want to thank you guys so much, and Ed for being such a good friend, and reminding Stonington, vote, vote, vote. And with that, I'd like to introduce Greta, who's going to be running the second CD, running this operation here, and tell you how important it is that you stay involved.
Thank you again so much for coming out. We really appreciate it, but I mainly am here to tell you that we can't do this without all of you. You know, I can only make so many phone calls and knock on so many doors by myself. We need to reach everyone in the state. We need to knock on their door and tell them to vote for Ned and Mary. We need to give them a call and tell them to vote for Ned and Mary. And then we need to call them again and talk to them again and again and remind them to vote that last weekend and remind them to vote as we get there. So obviously, up there you can see we've outlined every way to get involved, and I promise you that just skims the surface. If you're not comfortable, we will find a way for you to be involved in this campaign because we need everyone's help. So obviously you all signed in. We're definitely going to be contacting you very soon. I promise you that. But if you're ready to get involved, even before we call you, definitely talk to myself or Terry, who is running here in the 2nd District. We will definitely find a way for you to get involved as soon as possible. We really need all of your help. We cannot do this without you. And one final request we have for all of you is to make sure to text CD2 to 83224.